Welcome to the Swedish Junior Hockey Podcast. My name is Jacob Dahlin. With us today, we have Ludwig Guve Torling from Stockholm, J20 head coach, J20 region with Huddinge Anchors. Welcome. Haninge. I'm sorry. I messed it up from the beginning. Haninge Anchors. Huddinge, Haninge. It's all about the same down there in the 08 area code.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Thank you very much. I'm glad to be here.
This episode is brought to you by Scandlux, your home for Scandinavian luxury products for the U.S. market. You can find us at scandlux.com.
Yeah. So excited to have you on. Of course, we poached you a little bit on your LinkedIn announcement when you was announced as the head coach there for Haninge, and reached out and because I looked you up and said, wow, this guy's got a really interesting background, young guy, and would love to talk to him about his journey. And then as a young coach in J20 region, which is what used to be called J20 Elite in the Stockholm region, which you guys playing in the East, right?
Yeah, the East, the Stockholm region.
Stockholm region. Everybody complains when you have to travel more than 30 minutes.
Exactly. You have the rush hour, so it takes more than 30 minutes.
Yeah. So I got you pulled up here on Lead Prospects. So let me go back because I was actually looking at your team now. So, but I saw this first that of course you grew up in Stockholm, right?
Yeah.
And I thought this would be interesting to talk about. Back in 2011, 2012, Djurgarden U16 SM, which I guess at the time that was the top division for U16s back then,
yes.
Right?
Yes.
And, not a big deal. Teammates with Timashow, Kempe, Kyllington, just to name a few.
Yeah. So
you were the one serving up their goals, right?
Exactly. Hardworking guy.
Yeah. So everybody has it. Yeah, this guy's got the hands. This guy's got the physics. What was your? But hey, you were up there too. Not at the bottom. So that must have been a fun time. Let's start there.
Yeah. Like you told, the U16 team in Djurgarden was incredible. After the season, I think we only lost 3 games during the whole season out of over 70 games. So that must be something extraordinary. And after the season, I think every player went to NIU gymnasium. Everybody got offers from a whole bunch of clubs. So we were an extraordinary team, really special team. And when I look back at it, and that I'm really proud to be a part of it.
But you didn't grow up in. So for those who don't know kind of how it works, Djurgården, which has been, I don't know, maybe the most famous hockey club in Stockholm.
Yeah, nowadays it is. Back at the time, maybe Hammarby and AIK was in the same level, but now I think it's another bunch of team like AIK obviously, and SDE, Täby, those clubs nowadays. But back then it was mostly Djurgården.
Yeah. But you grew up in Huddinge, which is another, so that's kind of where I got messed up with Haninge, where you're coaching now, Huddinge, which is another suburb of Stockholm, right?
That's correct. Yeah, I start my career in Huddinge and then played there until U13, I think. And then I moved to Djurgarden and played there for 3 or 4 seasons. And after we won the championship in U16, I went to Karlskoga to play in their NIU program.
Yeah, so let's go there. Karlskoga, which is in Värmland, which is not Stockholm. Värmland, which is known for Värmland forests and little slower tempo out there.
Yeah.
So for you, that wasn't you. You were not Timashow, and so the competition to get into Djurgården's NIU gymnasium, which is the high school academy, must have been extremely tough there. So
yeah, of course. So I recognize it in the beginning of the season that I wouldn't fit in, obviously. And I was even from the beginning looking at moving out of Stockholm and try something new.
Yeah. And how did you get in touch with them? Were they recruiting you, or were you recruiting them, or both?
It was kind of both. The coach back then reached out. He was a Stockholm guy. So he reached out to me and asked me if I were interested in coming to tryouts and a tryout weekend. So I decided to go, and I were in touch with other clubs, but I thought the program that Karlskoga present was the best opinion for me.
Yeah. So how does that, if you remember, that's been a few years ago now, but not too long ago.
Yeah, 10 years.
10 years. It's not too bad. But do you remember, so this year, the kids that are in the last year of U16s are the 06 birth year this year?
No, 07.
I'm sorry, 07. The 06s are in U18 with 05s. So if you're an 07 birth year player this year, when do they do the tryouts for?
They do the tryouts in the maybe in 2 weeks, the first one, and then they have one in during the Christmas holidays, and maybe some on the spring. But I think the NIU clubs mostly know from the beginning which player they want.
So for example, so when you were in that situation, you were evaluating and so you went around November, December to have your tryouts. When did you commit to them, or what's the process there to commit? Is there here in the US you have the letters of intent, and you have, did you sign a contract with them, or how did that work?